What do you see as the biggest challenges in conservation?
The growing human population. Because where we are, there's nothing else.
And do you have views about what should be done about that?
Can't you guess?
Well, it could be on a spectrum from mass sterilisation to you know, greater availability of contraception. I don't know what your views are as to what can be done about it.
Well, I think it might be described as voluntary family limitation.
I grew up in the 1960s, watching those TV commercials with those starving kids in Africa who stared vacantly at the camera with sad eyes and distended bellies. And in 6th grade, my Glee Club teacher, Mr. Collins, had us change the words in this song we were singing. 3 billion people in the world to 4 billion people in the world. And I was shocked. I couldn't believe that the population was so big. And I was even more shocked because no one else in the class seemed at all disturbed by this fact. And a couple days later, I told my friend Susie Hollander that because there seemed to be too many people in the world for it to handle, that I wasn't going to have any kids. And she looked at me and she replied that she was going to have 3. This is unsustainable.
I am not a bigot. Mother Earth is dying because I exist. I trust these philanthropist eugenicists who just want what's best for me. I am an empowered and free global citizen.
Ease, a war over resources? Or will it stop growing because people choose to have smaller families? And by smaller families, I mean one-child families. And this is where people start getting nervous talking about overpopulation and population issues because they're scared that I'm going to take away their rights to have children. But I don't want to take people's rights away. I want to give people rights.
Hi, we're Natasha and Luca, that vegan couple from YouTube and other social media.
The time has come to make animal rights history.
Join us in London on October 7 for the Animal Rebellion.
It's a 2-week disruption, but you can come for any time you're able to.
Taking direct action for animals to disrupt business as usual and demand serious change from governments is what the animal victims and the planet desperately need.
Hey everyone, we're in Lisbon, Portugal. We are disrupting in a supermarket, or a shopping centre I should say, with lots of restaurants around us. We have about 23 activists with us tonight and we're playing the screams of animals.
If we all sterilize ourselves and give the animals human rights, we can all have equal animal rights together and eat plant-based fortified kibble to stop the #climate crisis and achieve #climate justice with the good grown-ups at the big banks, governments, and global corporations.
You know, is spending $1 million on that last 3 months of life for that patient, would it be better not to lay off those 10 teachers and to make that trade up in medical costs? But that's called the death panel, and you're not supposed to have that discussion. So you, of course,
well, that's an interesting thing you just said.
Our Earth is warming up and our oceans are rising. Extreme weather is wrecking millions of lives.
From California to the Amazon, our forests are burning. We are in a climate emergency.
We cannot let this happen on our watch. Up to 1 million species are becoming extinct because of mankind's actions, and time is running out.
History shows us that when enough people rise up and demand change, those in power have no choice but to act.
Millions of people around the world are taking to the streets on a climate strike, demanding our leaders listen to the science and act.
We must take back power. That means voting for leaders who care about the future of our planet. Join in supporting environmental movements like Greenpeace or Fridays for Future, a global youth movement inspired by Greta Thunberg.
And doing what we can to live in a greener lifestyle, like cutting out meat and dairy in your diet and reducing plastic use.
I mean, the population's going to have to stop growing at some point, so why not stop now? Instead of wishing that some invention or technology will save us that doesn't even exist yet and we're not even sure works. So for everyone to have quality of life, the number of humans on Earth needs to go down. And I believe that it needs to go down to 2 billion people, which sounds radical because there are 7 billion people on the planet today, but it's actually the world population of just 80 years ago. So let's change our idea of what the ideal family looks like. And let's not be afraid to talk about overpopulation, because it is not about taking rights away from people. It is about giving opportunities to women, children, and future generations. And lastly, let's be part of the solution.
The Red Brigade symbolizes the blood that connects all of us. It's the blood that connects humans, species, all of us to the earth. So for me, the Red Brigade is a vessel to hold the emotions of grief and loss and rage and joy and love and peace. And it's those emotions that connect all of us. And we work, or we try to work as one, which symbolizes that we are all connected. We act as one. We move as one.
We are all one. Everything is relative and morality is subjective, so we must act together to save the planet. You are highly evolved gods who evolved by random chance through evolution that created something out of nothing in a meaningless cold material universe that evolved life out of nothing by transforming cosmic ponscum into monkeys who must save the planet by getting rid of themselves and creating a totalitarian technocratic global monoculture society. We must eat nutrient-fortified kibble in our smart cities and pay for our cockroach milk and VR porn with carbon credits so the IMF, World Bank and Fortune 100 can save the planet from the evil CO2 we exhale, and poor little Billie Eilish can have her future back. I am not deceived. Pop culture is healthy and is not programming me to self-destruct. I will save the world by eating sustainable vegan kibble and demanding the government give me the same rights as animals. I am not being dehumanized. I am empowered. Veganism and vasectomies should be mandatory. Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide, and I trust the people on the TV screen. Peace, Reflections.
There we go. Well, hello, bigots. This is Terrence McKenna. I've just been communicating with the mushrooms and asking the mushrooms what we should do about the hashtag climate crisis that is an existential threat that is threatening to destroy all of humanity. What is up, all you bigots? What's up? Vandalism of veganism. What's up, dude? How's it going, brother? How's it going, everybody? Got a couple super chats already. Thanks to Alley Cat, sent in 1999, says, can't stay tuned now, but wanted to support. Thank you so much for the support. It is always much appreciated. Alley Cat. I know Alley was she was in the Keto and Carnivore Collective last month, and I think she might be in this one doing it again, if I recall correctly. But yeah, Allie, was really nice getting to know you during the last coaching session. Hope all's good. Got another super chat here from Lenny and Leah Play, sending, what is CHF? I don't know what CHF is, but 10 of those CHFs, which I much appreciate. Says thank you for fighting on. Right on. Well, how's that for an introduction, guys? It's kind of like a full-length video. I might have to actually put that out as a video with a good title, so it'll get some views and some clicks. I think that's one worth watching. But today we're going deep. Today we're going deep off the deep end again with that vegan couple. That vegan couple, one of the foremost vegan whacktivist couples out there, fighting for your rights to have the same rights as animals, or fighting for the animals to have human rights. Personhood for animals, meaning your babies will be just as worthy, just as noble as the cockroaches and the crickets. That's what these people are fighting for. The ideals that they're fighting for are equal rights for all creatures. Yet in their worldview, they can't even define rights. They can't even define what human rights are. Yet they want to give those to animals. Meaning they want to give you the animal rights. So we are going to learn a little bit about that vegan couple. You can see them here looking mentally healthy with another vegan activist, Joey Carbstrong. He's the one with a psychotic glare on the right of that photograph right there. That vegan couple are world-traveling activists, vegan whacktivists, traveling all over the world, going to countries that they don't even live in. They are a couple of Australians, which is just so apt. It seems like almost all of these vegan activists, these international vegan activists, for some reason they're coming out of Australia. You got Joey Carbstrong, you got the vegan couple here, you got the Freely, the durian rider. You have all these degenerates pushing this agenda. For some reason, so many of them come out of Australia. I feel really bad for all the cool Australians I know. You know, I mean, it's a shame to see how much a few crazy whacktivists can really stir the pot. So yeah, let's see what these folks are all about.
Compliments will get you everywhere.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, we don't feel very fresh.
Really, how do you feel?
Look, you know what? Today we feel quite uplifted, actually, because a lot of people have provided such beautiful feedback about the talk that we gave, about the disruptions that we've been involved in lately, and so we're feeling quite uplifted and thanking us for our work. And
yeah, the spirits are uplifted. The physical, mental, and emotional bodies are absolutely shot to pieces.
Wow.
The spirits are uplifted. The spirits are uplifted by the activism that Terrence McKenna and the mushroom are watching on the television screens. The spirits are uplifted. So they're in high spirits. But their physical and mental health are destroyed by their activism, right? Their activism is just so hard. It's so hard. It's so difficult. The title of this one is They Dragged My Husband Across the Floor. So, I mean, these poor victims. Look at the face of these suffering vegans. The suffering victims. There have been quite a few victims suffering lately. These vegan activists at the Extinction Rebellion and the Animal Rebellion been having some fun. We saw the other day, we watched these guys getting dragged off the top of the train. This is some crazy footage. Middle class people just trying to go to work, right? Middle class and lower class people trying to get to work, and then, yeah, they're sick of it. People are sick of this shit. Right, so they roughed him up a little bit. Guy got a little bit roughed up. We saw this one. With their sign that says walk the talk, right? Their walk the talk sign. It's always these empty slogans, these empty, nonsensical, rhetorical slogans that don't mean anything. Nobody knows what they mean because they mean literally nothing. Walk the talk is their sign for the Extinction Rebellion. And these people are just trying to go to work. These little dupes come and they block the intersection, right? Because they're going to save the world by telling the government to take climate action. We need the government to raise taxes on everybody in the world to make gasoline more expensive so that we could save the planet, guys. We need to make all goods more expensive because that's green to save the planet. There you go.
Oh! He took it. This guy took their sign.
Takes the sign, chucks it over the fence.
Sorry.
This chick starts attacking him with her phone, and she drops it, and he throws it in the street. Right, so this girl,
she kind of set herself up for that.
What a dummy.
Yeah, someone he grabbed the poster, threw it over, then destroyed one gir's phone.
Yeah.
That was
the chick who hit him with her phone, and then she dropped her phone on the ground and he chucked it in the street. So, I mean, people are pissed. These people are having to take climate action. Here's a different view. People are taking climate action against these protesters. Oh, there goes the sign. This guy, do you guys think he's walking the talk, as these vegan activists said?
You gotta go to work. Get the fuck out the way. Get the fuck out the way. Go. Get the fuck out of here. You get the.
Throws the phone. There's the phone skipping around in the street. You can hear the lady's way far away. Okay. Alright, so there's the climate action that these people are taking. Oh, look at the vegan couple. That's the same cow, if you remember correctly, that's the same cow that got molested and sexually assaulted by Gary Yourofsky, which we watched in a previous video. Gary Yourofsky and his heavy petting of this cow was pretty creepy. We put that in a couple mashup videos in the past. But this vegan couple, that vegan couple rather, they just used to be vegan YouTubers who would make response videos, but now they have radicalized themselves, become radicalized, and they're out there saving the world. They're out there saving the world to spread their message, to save the animals. I got another super chat. What's up, Natty Mulkey? Thanks a lot, man. It says, can we start a GoFundMe to have vegans disrupt indigenous carnivorous communities? I'd sign up for a pay-per-view. Yeah, let's start a GoFundMe and have these climate activists and vegans go down to the Amazon and tell the Shuar tribe to stop eating animals and fishing. Yeah, that's a great idea. The Shuar who carry around spears and used to shrink the heads of their enemies. They should come down to the Amazon and go tell these people to stop eating animals, because they're just destroying the planet, right? They're destroying the planet by having fowl, by keeping chickens. All right, thanks a lot for the super chat. For everybody who's throwing the super chats out there, really appreciate it. It does help. These get regularly demonetized, hidden in the algorithm, and it's always much appreciated when you guys keep this going. You guys keep these streams afloat with them super chats. But let's check out what that vegan couple is all about. That vegan couple, they are not just activists, but they are also victims. Here we go. A few weeks ago, La Boqueria market in Barcelona, Spain. These activists went and interrupted this big-ass meat market. Let's see what happened.
Everyone, we are in Barcelona, Spain, about to disrupt one of the busiest markets probably in the world. This is great. We have 46 activists here with us today. So many of them are disrupting for the first time. We've got to speak out. We've got signs. We've got a lot happening. Whoa. All right. I think we're ready to go.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is a non-violent demonstration. We are here for the hidden and forgotten victims of our food choices, the animals. We are not here to judge anyone, as we too all once ate animal products. And yet we are here to remind everyone that they are not just harmless products like the deceitful industries would have us believe. Behind every single animal product you buy, such as meat, fish, milk, cheese, butter, ice cream, yogurt, cream, and eggs, there are individual animal victims. Of the type of food all animals raised for food, including the dairy products, and then are ultimately killed against their will. No animal goes willingly to the execution.
Okay, we got to go forward. I don't know how long he's gonna babble into the microphone. We are not here to be violent. We are here to annoy the shit out of normal people trying to live their lives. We are here as LARPing millennials and vacant Zoomers who are all on prescription pills for depression and anxiety so that we can project our insecurities and fears and hatred onto everybody else while telling ourselves that we are enlightened activists. Gotta refresh the page.
We are in Barcelona, Spain.
Let's go back. Let's see him take the megaphone. Estamos trabajando, queremos trabajar. ¿Qué estás haciendo, maricón? Queremos trabajar. These Spanish dudes, middle-class working guys, just trying to get on with their lives, just trying to get by day to day, as their governments are probably squeezing the shit out of them with taxes, making all the prices of all goods higher by, of course, raising the prices of fuel because it's so green to make people poor. It's so green to make people more expensive. These people go and disrupt normal middle-class people and lower-class people just trying to buy and sell freaking meat. And they're so surprised. They're so surprised when these people actually push back. These people who are just trying to make a living. These people who are just trying to feed their families. Right? These people who are not murderers, as you're accusing them of being. Which, when you actually think about it, right? Think about this. These vegans, these vegan activists, they're out there saying that meat is murder. Right? So imagine you live in a community and there's a group of people who are accusing you of being a murderer, right? In most communities, right, historically, maybe not now because people are so broken up in these little fake internet communities. People don't have real connections with their neighborhoods anymore. People don't even protect their communities in general, right? But in most communities, if there was a murderer, they would be seen as a threat and they would be hopefully dealt with, right? Murder is an offense that can result in the death penalty in a lot of places. These vegans are calling us murderers for feeding our families animals. They are calling us murderers because we eat animals that we raise on our own land, animals that are used to regenerate the soil on our own land. They are calling us murderers. Logically, if this were real, if they actually were for real, if they actually believed that meat was murder, would they not be looking to prosecute, lock up, and penalize and punish these murderers? So these vegan activists are out there calling you and I murderers. Right? If they were for real, they would be trying to lock us up, they would be trying to prosecute us, or perhaps even give us the death penalty. This is the rhetoric that these people are using, and we're supposed to just sit back and say, oh, man, these guys, they mean so well. They might be misled, but hey, let's just give them one for trying, you know? I mean, it's real cute that they're out there protesting for the animals. They're really, really trying to make everything better. They just want a better world. No. No, if you were being accused falsely of murder, you would fight back. Right? So in this crazy, messed up, schizo world of vegan projections, this is what's going on. They're calling everybody murderers. Yet this is how they act. They go in there to the murderers where they sell the murdered body parts and where they murder the animals and they say, stop it. You have to stop because we feel so bad about this. We want what's best for the planet, for everybody. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Complete absurdity. And the fact that they are calling us murderers, this should be taken a lot more seriously than people are. They're not just trying to take your meat. They want to classify you, if you eat meat, if you keep animals, as slave-keeping murderers. Right? They are literally justifying locking you up and giving you the death penalty. And we are supposed to just sit back and say, oh, man, it's just like, you know, morality is subjective, right? I guess, you know, if they believe that that's so, then, well, you know, more power to them. Those little cute little millennials and zoomers and boomer wine moms who never had kids and were just, you know, raised pit bulls. If these if these people want to tell us that we're murderers, then that's their right in this, you know, completely objective moral landscape that we live in. You know, maybe the free market will allow them to get their president in, and they could get a president that can dictate to the rest of us that we're all going to go to jail. But, you know, till then, we'll try to get our guys in. We'll just vote, and if we can just get in our guy, then he'll protect us. Come on. We can't just sit back and take this shit. These people are fucking degenerates, calling us murderers. The language, the rhetoric they use is the rhetoric and language that is also used to dehumanize an enemy, to create genocidal sentiment in populations, and that's what they're doing against us. They're saying that we're murderers. What do you do with murderers? Time to wake up, guys. Right. Eggs are murder. unborn babies, fetuses, are just clumps of cells. That these people are just trying to work, though. Queremos trabajar, queremos trabajar. ¿Qué estás haciendo? Vamos a trabajar. We're trying to work, we're trying to work. And these activists are out there holding pictures of chickens that are going to be killed. These are mothers. These are people, too.
Sí, sí, sí.
It's not food, it's violence. It's not food, it's murder. These are not just cute little misled activists, right? These are fucking maniacs. These are fucking maniacs who claim to think and they pretend to believe that we're murderers, that me owning chickens and having dogs that eat those chickens and me eating my chickens, that's murder. That these tribes, like we just mentioned, the Shuar, who are living off the fish in their rivers, who eat the animals in their local environment. These pastoral people who live in the highlands of Peru with the alpaca and llama, with herds of alpaca and herds of llama. These people are just murderers, right? They need to be locked up, re-educated. This is what these people claim to believe. All right, I think this might be a different angle of the same event. Let's check this one out, y'all. Okay, falls on the ground. Wait. All right. This guy's like 65 years old, this security guard. Barely touches the guy's limp little vegan wrist. And look at this fucker melt. Look at this little pussy wilt. Look at this guy. Rape! Murder! Look at, he just gives it up. He doesn't even try to hold on to it. Look, okay, you can take it. And the title of this is Vegans Are Violent. So they're trying to say that, oh, these other people are so violent. Look at the level of violence that they're perpetrating. He touched his wrist. Oh, you poor vegan. Look, he touches his wrist and the guy falls and withers to the ground. So we gave him a nice little pat on the back there, and all the vegans, this is assault! This is assault! Oh, man. We are victims! We deserve to come in here and yell at everybody through a megaphone and stop you from doing commerce and living your lives and doing your jobs and eating! We're just trying to force veganism on everybody so you all starve! This is assault! Look at these fucking morons. This is so ridiculous. I remember seeing these people a couple years ago on YouTube just doing their little response videos talking about, yeah, like this person's not vegan anymore. That's so lame. Like, they did it wrong. Now they're out there doing direct action, taking direct action now in these agitation propaganda, Soviet Bolshevik Revolution style social manipulation, social engineering events that they think are going to usher in a utopia. What they're really doing is pushing a genocide agenda against rural people and the people that produce food, pushing the ideals, the ideal economic situation for these multinational globalist corporations who are pushing for plant-based dietary guidelines, who are pushing for so-called sustainable development, right? Like BP, BP, Cargill, Kellogg's, Bunge, Unilever, Syngenta, Dow, Bayer Pharmaceutical, which owns Monsanto. These are all members of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, right, who are taking climate action now, along with the IMF and the World Bank, and all these big politicians who blabber jibber jabber in front of the television and tell you all this is going to be great, and then we're going to have a global New Deal and a New Deal for nature and a Green New Deal, and we're going to have animal rights. And our kids are going to have animal rights, which means they won't be able to eat foods from animals. They won't be able to eat the most nourishing and nutrient-dense and easily digestible foods, the only foods that we actually require, which are animal foods. That instead they're going to get kibble. They're going to get sustainable plant-based kibble, and they're going to get reproductive health services, institutionalized infanticide. And they're going to get television and porn and Monsanto foods. That's what the World Business Council for Sustainable Development is doing to spread the hashtag climate crisis. They're rebranding, using war propaganda, globalism. They're rebranding internationalism and world government for the climate crisis and for the animal crisis. And we're going to save all the animals, we're going to save all the children, we're going to save all the people by starving ourselves. That is the plan. That's what we're being told is sustainable. That's what we're being told is good. That's what we're being told is enlightened. If you only listen to Terence McKenna and spend several hours of the day listening to Joe Rogan tell you that you should also put the pee-pee in the poo-poo after you smoke DMT and find yourself in the realm of the self-transforming machine elves that will whisper sweet nothings of creation into your third eye, which is between your butt cheeks. Then we will all be so enlightened so that we can stop the hashtag climate crisis by entering into hyperdimensional realities of going into the ether and spreading open our third eye cheeks so that the self-transforming machine elves can bring mushroom circles, eternal circles that are uncircumscribable in our third eye. We're told that. How's that Terence McKenna? The Terence McKenna's getting better. I listened to like 20 minutes of Terence earlier. But this is what we're given. This is the solution we're given. Right? And these people are out there interrupting meat markets in Spain. Right, in Barcelona, we're in Barcelona right now. There are huge civil unrest. This happened before this all went down. Right, this was on Friday, and I believe actually Barcelona might have already started popping off. I don't remember exactly when Barcelona and the Catalonian issue started happening, but we're seeing major civil unrest in much of the world now, being stoked up for various reasons and all sorts of chaos. And this vegan movement and climate rebellion is a way to disrupt a little bit and slightly destabilize people's lives in order to get them to accept these new bits and pieces of the agenda that are being forced on us. Right? Carbon taxes, carbon capture schemes, the climate crisis, the climate's changing, the weather's so bad, oh my goodness, the earth's going to kill us all, the planet's going to die if we don't listen to exactly what the banks tell us what to do. That's the plan. We got to listen to the big banks. Gene Doe II sending £2. Thank you so much. Getting some love from over there in the UK. You guys, if you got anything you want to hit on today, make sure to send them super chats. They do keep these streams alive. We had a lot of nice super chats. The last couple streams been really cool because even though these regularly get demonetized, you guys keep them afloat. You guys keep this going. All right, so let's finish listening to, or watching. The violent people being so mean to the vegan activists as they tell them to stop eating the poor animals. Get out of here, they're saying. Get out of here, fucking idiots. Go. This guy's pissed. This guy's going on a rampage. I mean, what do these people expect? He called him a payaso, called him a clown. So then apparently this guy comes up with a knife, which remember, you're in an area where there's people butchering. These people are cutting up animals to sell them to their clients who come to the market, who may have taken their lunch off, right? Take their lunch break to go to work or to leave work and to go shopping while their kids are at school. They've got to go home. They just want to get on with their lives. These butchers are trying to provide good animal foods for these good people who want to feed their families. Right? People who are being taxed more and more, whose quality food sources are getting more and more expensive as they get starved out of their lifestyles into this austerity life, the global austerity measures lifestyle. These people are out there telling them, no, you can't work. All right, so this guy, I don't know if he had a knife in his hand already because he's a butcher, or if he grabbed the knife to threaten these people. But apparently this dude came out with a knife, right? These LARPing vegans, like, do they have any idea that if they keep pushing this, people are going to push back, that they're eliciting this response intentionally? Do they have any idea that they're doing this? Do they have any clue that they're doing this? Tristan Mijo do an imitation of Dr. McDougal. Thanks, Trish. You know, we'll have to get a Dr. McDougal video up because I don't know what he sounds like. I don't know what he sounds like. But I was listening to the incoherent, self-contradictory ramblings of Terence McKenna talking about the mushroom and transhumanism and trans-reality earlier. So that voice is fresh in my third eye. All right. Don't push me, that's assault. That's assault. Fuera, idiotas. Fuera, maricons.
Mussin, which way are we going?
Riba, stop. Come here. Here we go. Here's the icing on the cake. Man takes a sign of the animal victims from a female activist and puts it between his legs. Look, he acts like he's like he's wiping his ass. He wipes his ass with the murder victims, as these vegans will call it. I mean, this is how people are responding. People are pissed. People are not happy with these dupes. People are not happy. Oh, look at Benjamin Smith says, please no one listen to this guy. He's racist and sexist and hugely misinformed. Plus, he has no arguments. All right, dude. Oh, this guy, Benjamin Smith, he's the one who left a comment the other day. One of the dumbest comments I've ever read on this channel. I wish I don't have it pulled up right now. I'm not going to be able to find it. But, yeah, Benjamin Smith, you could just go on. You can just go on timeout. You just learn to sit over there in timeout. All right, okay, Benjamin, you just calm him down. You know, just calm him down. It is tough titties for you, Benjamin Smith. You come in here, you say bald man bad, but Osho say bald man good. Osho say bald man bring enlightenment and tell you how you sterilize yourself for the animals so you can give all your resources to World Bank, IMF, and transnational corporations who will teach you all how to live in social engineered, degenerate, smart city where you put pee-pee and poo-poo all day in virtual reality. Okay. So that vegan couple, they are victims, guys. They're victims. It's not a happy meal. It's not a happy meal. This is the video clip that I put in the introduction video, which I might have to just upload as a normal video. It's pretty funny.
We're at the Animal Rebellion here in London.
Yes, and it is day 3. There have been so many things going on. Right now, we're going to show you a lock-on is happening at the DEFRA department.
DEFRA is the Department for the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, and they are responsible for making policies regarding, what happens in the animal agriculture and fishing industries, which are destroying the planet.
So we are going to show you what's happening right now, running across the road. A number of activists locking on. This is Animal Rebellion.
This is the Animal Rebellion. And we're doing exactly what the big banks tell the TVs to tell us what to do. We are going to end all animal agriculture. Come on. Come on. You think feeding everybody soy is going to save the world? You think that, stopping animal deaths is going to save the world? You people are freaking delusional. You people are so freaking delusional. It's ridiculous. Let's hear a little bit more of what they have to say here with Joey. I wish I'd timestamped this. I'm going to try to jump around. I remember I jumped around a little bit earlier and I had some spots that were really worth listening to.
There are so many elements to consider. Honestly, it is just you really got to consider 101 things.
Many things could go wrong, it seems like.
Everything can go wrong.
Wow.
And so
Activist theory here. This is how you do proper disruptive activism.
There are so many things that you need to check and double check and know what you're doing.
Yep.
So to get 110 people doing that, and half of them their first time, we were like, all right, let's see how this happens. As it turns out, we were warned that the security in Germany come down really heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And so they said they're going to be onto us straight away and they're going to try and shut it down. And we're like, yeah, this happens to us every week. It's no problem. We'll deal with it like everywhere else. Well, it was actually they were right. That was more intense than anywhere else. And they're huge in Germany. They're such big guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always looking up at people, but they were like, huge guys. And so the physical kind of domination, if you like, was quite intense.
Yeah.
So basically, we did our 1 minute of silence. People had signs, people had flowers, we had some candles. We were all dressed in funeral attire, so all in black. And then it was time for Luca to start chanting. As soon as he pulled out the megaphone, the security were already there, but they came for the megaphone straight away, which is what they always do. They usually go...
Yeah, because you're shouting with a megaphone and disrupting everybody's shit, and you're ruining everybody's day by yelling at them with a megaphone. You morons. Of course, they take your damn megaphone. Cowitarian, what's up? Sending $10. Thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate that one. Cowitarian is a regular here. I think Cowitarian, you're on Instagram too, right? The name looks really familiar.
After Luca with the megaphone and me with the camera.
Yep.
But it was a lot more hands-on than it's ever been anywhere else. Wow. And they wouldn't let go. Luca wouldn't let go. And then the next thing I see is they've got him by each arm and they're walking him out. And then Luca knows we're supposed to make it very difficult. We're not supposed to help them.
Yeah.
Escort us from the building.
And don't let them drag you.
Exactly. So he went limp, he dropped to the ground. And as soon as he did that, I'm like, okay, we're going there. Because this has never happened before to us. It's never escalated to that point. And usually...
These people have the best activist tactics ever. You go limp, drop to the ground, right? Annoy people until they grab you to take you out. Go limp and drop to the ground. You like how Joey Carbstrong's just like, yeah, bro, you just go limp. You just go fucking limp. Just go limp noodle. Limp dick to the ground. A limp dick is a hard dick to move.
When you go limp and drop to the ground, they just drop you. But they started dragging him across the supermarket floor. And that's when my heart really started racing. I got very nervous because it was the first time that it had escalated to this point. And as I said, we had 110 people with us, half of them first-time disruptors.
First time? What a first time. Oh my God. What are we doing?
I'm like, oh my gosh,
Is this normal?
It's not normal. It's normal. Well, it is normal, but it hasn't, you know, it hasn't happened to us before.
Yeah.
So he's on the ground, and my instinct, mind you, at that exact moment, the coverage of our we were live streaming. It just dropped out.
The network.
The network dropped out. So it was because the supermarket was sort of like down and in, and it must be too much concrete.
Okay.
And so I had no connection. So I'm no longer live. And I'm like, oh my God, we have to film this.
Yeah.
Give me a camera. I was screaming, and you know, it was a bit of chaos. But my first instinct was actually, should I just like drop on top of him so that
double weight?
Yeah.
Hold on to his ankles, everyone.
I mean, it's not that I weigh much, but it was more like, would they do anything if I'm laying on top of him as a woman? Maybe they'd just like pick me up and throw me out aside.
I was thinking like, if I like strip down all my clothes and if I like drop on top of them, spread my legs, would that like technically be sexual assault if they grab me and move me? These people, how fucking insane are these people? They're limp, they're dropping limp to the ground. If a woman covers them with their body, they can't move me. What the fuck is this? This is insane. Normie Claus, what's up, dude? Or dudette. Normie Claus says, keep guarding that third eye, brother. Right on. Well, I don't know if you understand that the third eye is something that many people do not know, that the mushroom can explain it very well. If you just ask Osho, he will explain to you about what the third eye really does.
No, but I sort of thought, well, I just like flop on him. Anyway, I didn't do that. But it was quite, in that moment, because it was the first time, I did have a bit of fear and a bit of panic, like, oh, where is this going to go? Yeah. And then when Luca got up, the look on his face was like, whew, okay. And then he started chanting again, and I'm like, oh, that's my baby, woo! But at the same time, they were on him straight away. And then they grabbed him by the back of the neck, and then one guy on each arm, and they were dragging him out and forcing his head, like his neck down. And it was very violent.
At this point, I forced my breast in between the hand and my husband, and I said that the man assaulted me when his hand touched it. Oh, man. All right, so they're clearly victims here. So many victims. So many victims here of this hashtag climate crisis. Here's some next level activism, guys. This is how we change the world, guys. This is how we solve the hashtag climate crisis. The Extinction Rebellion is saving the world. They're saving the planet. They are saving everything. All of creation. Alright. I got a lot of other vegan videos pulled up here. There's quite a bit to cover today. Got all sorts of vegan news. The vegan couple is just, I mean, these people are some of my favorite international climate activists, vegan terrorists out there.
Hey, how are ya?
So I'm sensing, like in any social justice movement, there's always, what's the word I'm looking for?
a bunch of useful idiots LARPing in the streets doing exactly what their governments, big banks, and corporations want them to do?
Spit it out. Oh, I don't know what to say. Basically, disagreement, if you like, about the appropriate approach.
Yeah.
So, I can see activists there, some wanting to continue with quite strong chanting and some wanting to switch to more,
to calm it down, right, yeah.
So there's always these differences of opinion. That was the expression I was looking for before.
Yeah, that's normal. That's
in every social justice movement.
We're
they've always
humans and
experienced
we're all
it. So
going to have different opinions.
that's right. We're working it out as we go along in collaboration and open dialogue with each
The
other.
important thing is that we keep doing something.
That's
we keep
right.
evolving. We keep pushing forward. So this song now, thank you for the update.
This song is changing the world, you guys.
That's what we're doing. We're flowing.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful song.
You guys hear the rain? It's starting to rain pretty hard here. It's getting rainy. All right. That vegan couple, changing the world every single day, playing the victims, trying to bait people into assaulting them, right? Walking up, smacking someone in the face and running away saying, "Teacher, teacher, he hit me." Doing that good old vegan activism. I'm gonna close the door behind me so the rain isn't so loud. Do you hear that? You hear the climate change? Climate change ruining my day there. Climate changed and it got rainy. I'd like some sunshine. All right, yeah. So it's a little bit less loud in here. People say it didn't help, but that's all right. You guys can listen to the beautiful sound of the rain. I do not mind. I do not mind. But let's move on. What solutions do we have, right? We've got major health crisis worldwide, especially in the West. Western people's health is failing. Our doctors aren't doing much to mitigate the damage. We've got obesity rates, diabetes rates, cancer rates astronomically higher than they've ever been. We've got big ag, big pharma making more profits than they've ever made. And you've got the most nutrient-dense, nourishing, and important foods that we can eat being demonized because they're bad for the environment. Why are they bad for the environment? Well, the vegans have got 100 different cherry-picked ways for them to frame an argument to make it seem like these things are just so terrible, right? The invisible carbon dioxide gas that you're exhaling as you eat these animal foods and grow and reproduce and make more human babies with because you're fertile, that's killing the planet, right? Or the methane from the cows belching is destroying the planet. And of course, but the methane from all the burps and farts from the vegans who can't digest the foods that they're eating as they cram down a dozen different types of chickpeas, lentils, whole grains, and brown rice, as they choke down these hardly digestible, barely edible foods that nobody really enjoys eating. They're farting more than ever, but they're not destroying the planet, right? No, your animals are destroying the planet, and you're a murderer if you eat animals. Well, I don't really know what to believe. You know, I'm hearing all this stuff. And what do I do when I don't know what to believe? I look to degenerate, satanic pop culture to tell me what to think about the world, what to believe about the world. So let's figure this out, guys. Billie Eilish and Woody Harrelson know how to stop the hashtag climate crisis, and you have been stealing Woody Harrelson and Billie Eilish's childhood and their future. You have stolen Billie Eilish's childhood and Woody Harrelson's childhood, and you have stolen their future by eating meat and by not taking hashtag climate action. And you should be ashamed of yourself. All right, so let's listen to what these totally grassroots activists have to say in this heartfelt, tear-jerking documentary.
Our Earth is warming up and our oceans are rising. Extreme weather is wrecking millions of lives.
From California to the Amazon, our forests are burning. We are in a climate emergency.
We cannot let this happen on our watch. Up to 1 million species are becoming extinct because of mankind's actions, and time is running out.
History shows
a million
us
species,
that when
guys.
enough people rise up and demand change, those in power have no choice but to act.
Millions of people around the world are taking to the streets on a climate strike, demanding our leaders listen to the science and act.
We must take back power. That means voting for leaders who care about the future of our planet. Join in
Vote,
supporting
guys.
environmental movements like Greenpeace or Fridays for Future.
Greenpeace.
A global youth movement inspired by Greta Thunberg.
And doing what we can to live in a greener lifestyle, like cutting out meat and dairy in your diet and reducing plastic use.
Above all, keeping yourself informed and making your voice count.
If, like us, you love our planet Earth, follow organizations like Greenpeace and Fridays for Future, and be part of protecting it.
After all, it's the only home we will ever have.
So beautiful. Who's crying? Who's crying? My third eye is crying, you guys. My third eye is crying right now. It's so sad. we have to take action. Can't you hear it in their voices? Can't you hear the totally real enthusiasm?
The streets listen to.
We must take back power. That means voting for leaders who care about the future of our planet. Join.
Yeah, guys, join. Join, guys. We're gonna save the planet. Billie Eilish is gonna save the planet.
But I make room.
So I don't fuck with the crickets. With the cricket lollipops. I don't know.
These, I can't eat these. Can't eat these. I can't eat these. Can't eat these. Oh my.
What? That's the evil.
Oh, and there's Starburst. I can eat Starburst. I can eat animals, bro. Like, I just don't understand the point. Why would you eat an animal when you could eat some chips? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Why would you eat an animal when you can eat some chips? Why would you eat an animal when you could eat some chips? Well, Billie Eilish, abused child actress or child performer, child singer, child star, degenerate satanic pop star, Billie Eilish. So why eat animals when you can eat some chips? Well, you get things from animals that you're not going to get from chips, stupid. You get things from animals that actually build up your immune system, grow your body, help grow your central nervous system. You're getting the fat-soluble vitamins that you're not going to get from any plant food. You're getting digestible, assimilable protein and fat that you're not going to find in any plant food. You're getting real nutrients that you can build your body in, out of, not in. Real nutrients that can build up your body and your nervous system so that you can think straight enough to say no when someone tells you to go vegan. When someone tells you to starve yourself for the animals, or when someone tells you that it's a good idea to spread degeneracy, hypersexuality, and drugs to a bunch of little kids, to degenerate them, to destroy their cultures and their families, and to usher them along into a miserable lifestyle of self-destruction. Maybe you wouldn't be doing all this shit if you're properly nourished. Who knows? Right? Oh, man. Billie Eilish, changing the world. So everyone's eating lobster and she's eating nothing. I love being vegan. I love starving myself, says Billie Eilish. I love having an eating disorder and starving myself. Billie Eilish tells fans to go vegan because eating meat is ignorant and stupid. Wow, I'm convinced, guys. Eating meat is ignorant and stupid. Sounds exactly like the vegan arguments we see in the chat here as well. Sounds like that vegan who came earlier and said, "You're a racist, you're a bigot, you're ignorant and racist, and you're sexist." He said sexist too. Go vegan, and if you don't want to be ignorant and stupid, she says. Wake up to the realities of the meat industry and go vegan, she says. Billie Eilish opens up about her health on a vegan diet. Vegan musician Billie Eilish spoke about how diet affects pooping and how she manages her iron deficiency in a recent video interview. Her iron deficiency. I'm not going to watch a 10-minute video. Iron deficiency. So the chick has full-on nutrient deficiencies already. Probably hasn't even been vegan that long. Probably grew up with nutrient deficiencies. Right? Obviously was traumatized as a child and was forced to do all this, disgusting media filth. I don't even know how old she is. This is just sad, though. Look at this poor little girl. Just completely vacant. Looking drugged. Vacant. Just looks possessed. Sad. Alright. But don't worry. There's solutions, guys. We've got this artist is proposing cannibalism as a climate change solution. Look. Grandpa cans, guys. Cans of grandpa. Because old people use so many resources. We can't afford for old people to be given their rationed kibble anymore. We've got to eat grandpa. Sure, it's a pretty radical move, but one that doesn't feel entirely out of sync with the terrifying goings-on in the world right now. Cannibalism is a solution to climate change. So you see, you're being gaslit into a degenerate death cult. You're being gaslit into a completely dehumanizing worldview that wants you to eat people. And this isn't just one article. Yeah, NPR, back in 2017. Cannibalism is perfectly natural, a new scientific history argues. We talked about earlier, showed a couple of articles earlier in the intro about cannibalism being normalized, mainstream media pushing the idea of cannibalism. Garland Farms, what's up, dude? Sending a nice fat $25 super chat. Thanks a lot, buddy. I haven't seen any videos from you recently, man. You got anything new out? He says, why would you kill and eat an animal when you can let it die and rot on the beach due to agricultural insecticide, rodenticide, herbicide, phosphate, and nitrogen runoff? Courtesy of the vegan kill cult. Yes. Yes. So eat grandpa, bigots. Eat grandpa, bigots. Cannibalism is normal. Right? If you just do a quick search, check this out. If you just do a Google search. Cannibalism. And you click on the news tab. Just a couple weeks ago, we got a whole bunch of news about scientists talking about cannibalism is a good idea. Cannibalism is common in the animal kingdom. Here's why for humans it's the ultimate taboo. Newsweek, right? Newsweek, the same establishment media and education system that teaches us that we are just animals, right? Like the signs that those vegans were holding up. We are all just animals. If we're all just animals, why should we not be cannibals? Why should we not kill and eat each other? There's no justification. There's no justification for morality at all if we believe that we're just normal animals. And of course, I don't believe that we're just animals. We don't believe in these dehumanizing philosophies that end up spreading, bestial activities, bestial philosophies, result in bestial behaviors. We don't believe this. But these people do believe it. You have to act in the world like we have some moral justification and imperative to stop eating animals, even though we're just animals, they say. Right? Completely inane. Completely self-contradictory. Did police shut down a nightclub for fostering cannibalism? Newsweek. Cannibalism is taboo for now. Anyways. Cannibalism being normalized. And of course, dehumanizing pop music. Always at the forefront of destroying our worldview and making us believe all sorts of nonsensical craziness. In this article, after all, cannibalism has occurred throughout the history of humanity in the Upper Paleolithic period until the late 20th century. In some instances, these practices took place for cultural reasons, but in many, such as during the Russian Cultural Revolution or following the crash of Flight 571, it was simply a matter of survival. Right, so you like how they're bringing up the Bolshevik Revolution. Now they're bringing up one of the biggest mass murder events in history, reminding us that In times of peril, we might have to eat each other. Right? Seeding us with these ideas. Telling us, oh, this is normal. You've just been programmed to think that you shouldn't eat each other. That you shouldn't eat babies. You've just been programmed to think that. But really, if we want to be sustainable, we'd eat grandpa, we'd eat babies. And if you really want to be sustainable, you're going to help Bill Gates build carbon capture plants that can do the work of 40 million trees. And so this is the new green economy. Bill Gates gets to get your pension money, right, and have subsidies from the IMF and World Bank, who are going to give loans to help make carbon capture facilities. Carbon capture and sequestration facilities, which are giant factories that are going to suck carbon out of the air and deposit them into the ground. They're going to deposit them in like underwater aquifers. Right? So these aquifers, you're not going to have access to the water anymore because we're going to need those to trap the carbon. You're going to pay for these carbon plants. They're going to pull carbon from the air and put them in the water under your feet that we're then going to say you can't drink because it has to trap the carbon. And you're going to pay for this and subsidize this by making everything more expensive. And if you just eat lab-grown meat and help Bill Gates to build these giant carbon plants, carbon capture plants, and if you will just help countries sign up for sizable carbon prices with the IMF, meaning global carbon taxes, to the IMF, to the World Bank, to global organizations that are run by the big money interests from big finance, from these big NGOs, and from these massive transnational corporations. That's the plan. This is not a joke. This is not the Onion. This is for real. The IMF wants to tax your exhalations. They want to have carbon taxes on everything. And they want that to be the new global economy. You tie this in with social credits, much like in the Chinese social credit system. And you've got the way to solve the climate crisis. The Washington Post says there's an effective and progressive solution for climate change. Why won't Democrats embrace it? What is it? Well, the IMF says that we need carbon taxes. Enacting a carbon tax is the single most powerful, efficient tool, according to the IMF. Hold on, I got a leak in the roof. I'll be right back. I gotta fix this leak. Alright, I'm back. Alright, we're almost out of this house. We'll be in our own home very soon. Get out of here. Go back, go. Daisy, go. Anytime I bend over towards the ground, I got both dogs right up in my face, trying to get all the attention. Alright. Got a metronome in the background. So that's the plan. We're going to save the world by giving up all our good foods, by eating kibble, and by walking the talk. We're going to walk the talk, guys. Here I am, living my austerity lifestyle, helping the climate crisis with my leaky ass roof, my low carbon footprint. Alright. So the carbon tax. That's going to save the world, guys. If we just will tax everything, just pay taxes on everything to the IMF, then we can live in a global utopia, says the Washington Post. The IMF thinks carbon taxes will stop the climate crisis. That's a terrible idea, is an opinion. At least They allowed an opinion to say it's a bad idea at The Guardian. This is what we're looking at, climate finance and initiatives for the World Bank. They want you to think that what's sustainable, that's what's good for the planet, are giant carbon capture factories and windmills. Windmills are going to save the planet. And 5G, smart cities, they're going to save the planet and create a global utopia, and it's going to be amazing. And the animals are never going to suffer again. Right? They're selling us a pipe dream. They're selling us a bunch of bullshit. They're getting us to be out in the streets, marching for and on behalf of the very corporations, the very financial interests that are polluting the most, that are destroying ecosystems the most, and that are damaging the natural environment the most. They want us to believe that they're going to fix it. Bill Gates and Big Oil back this company that's trying to solve climate change by sucking CO2 out of the air. How great. A tiny tweak in California law is creating a strange thing, carbon negative oil. It's going to be carbon negative. You know how it's going to be carbon negative? Because it's going to be more expensive, because you're going to pay more for it, and only rich people will be able to use resources, because everything's going to become more expensive due to carbon pricing schemes. That's the plan. That's the plan. Obviously, this is not going to save the planet. Obviously, this is just meant to destroy cultures further and to impose austerity throughout the world so that the elite can continue harvesting resources and harvesting human resources and decreasing the population, because they say that it is the greatest thing for the planet. The greatest thing for the planet is infanticide and carbon taxes and getting rid of all the people. And of course, eating grandma. Because as NPR says, you're paying for this with your public money. Our taxes go to this. I don't even live in the US and my taxes go to this propaganda bullshit like cannibalism. It's perfectly natural on NPR.com. It is madness. All right, let me come over here to the chat. What's going on? Look at all you bigots. All you carbon tax phobic bigots. All you anti-IMF bigots. What are you doing? Why don't you guys want to save the planet? Why aren't you vegan yet? Why are you still eating animal foods? We all know that animal foods are the most important foods to eat. They're the most important and crucial foods for building our central nervous system, for building our immune system, for building our brains. We need cholesterol. Our brain is made out of cholesterol. Every single one of our cells has cholesterol. We're made out of cholesterol. Our hormones are made from cholesterol. But we're told it's bad. We're told it's terrible. And if you disagree with this vegan agenda, if you disagree that you got to stop eating meat, if you disagree, then, well, you must hate children, you must hate the planet. All lies, all nonsense. And animal foods are very, very important for the regeneration of soil as well. They're an intimate part of cycles involved in the production of food, in the production of air. Right? There's a greenhouse gas cycle, there's a carbon cycle, a methane cycle. These ruminants actually have methanotropes that they put into the ground, which help to pull methane out of the atmosphere. In fact, it pulls more methane out of the atmosphere than they emit. And so properly grazed animals actually help deposit carbon in the soil and create that deep, black, loamy, carbon-rich soil. Not that carbon is destroying the planet or that it's bad. In fact, carbon dioxide, if you have too low carbon dioxide, you're going to get major health issues. Increased carbon dioxide in the blood is very, very beneficial. Right? So there's entire methods of manipulating breathing, like the Bucheko method, this Russian medical technique that they teach children with asthma to increase the carbon dioxide levels in their blood in order to improve their health so that they're not asthmatic and having panic attacks. These ruminant animals are crucial. Ruminant animals are crucial for the environment. They're crucial for feeding us. They're crucial for the development of happy, healthy people. Garland Farms says, can we get a super chat cascade? Garland Farms, yeah, a couple streams ago, Garland Farms started a super chat cascade, and he's about to start one again. Let's see, what do you guys want? You guys want to keep going? Do you want to continue talking with Terence McKenna about the mushroom and how the trans-dimensional machine elves will help to stop the hashtag climate crisis. All right. Let's see. We got a bunch of vegan videos pulled up. But this roof leaking is getting annoying. Joshua Baker, there we go. Starting that human depopulation cascade. Every one of these super chats will be used to fund the depopulation of all the extra people, guys. All these super chats will be used in order to bring veganism to the third world so that they can stop breeding. Nah, I'm kidding. He says, $4.99. Thanks a lot, man. Joshua Baker, if humans were supposed to be vegan vegetarians, how or why were we able to build tools to hunt? The same vegans, it's funny, these same vegans, they'll say, hey, you obviously were not meant to eat animals because look at your teeth. You don't have teeth that look just like a lion. Look at your hands. You don't have claws like a lion. So therefore, you can't eat animals. The same vegans that say that will use a juicer and a blender every fucking day of their life. The same vegans that say that do not have 4 stomachs to digest like a ruminant animal does. A bunch of roughage. The same vegans that say that were not born with a blender in hand, right? So of course, saying humans are meant to be vegans or vegetarians in their worldview, it makes absolutely no sense. Right now, what are humans supposed to do? What should we do? What should we believe, right? Is there morality? Is there right or wrong? These are really important questions that most vegans, they don't really touch on, right? Most of these vegans, they assume that morality is subjective. They assume that reality is just the sum of all of our opinions, right? That morality should be based on the sum of all of our opinions, and that can determine what is subjectively objective in their worldview. And we should base all our ethical decisions on what the majority thinks or what we feel, right? But they can't justify beyond that. How do you know that what you feel is true, right? We can be obviously, through behaviorism, programmed to feel certain things when we receive certain stimulus from the environment, right? Like you can program a dog to be afraid every time you go to pet it if you're constantly shocking it with a electroshock collar every time you go to pet it. You can train a human to think that animals are not, it's bad to eat animals, it's wrong to eat animals if you show it a bunch of Disney movies as it's growing up. If you show this person all sorts of propaganda to make them think that eating animals is bad, you can make them feel morally opposed to it. But does that make these things objectively morally right or wrong? I mean, there are cannibal tribes all over, throughout all of history. Is cannibalism right just because we could do it? Right? These are really important things that we should be asking in these conversations with people talking about morality. Gene Doe, the second, 5 pounds. I think that's pounds. Thanks a lot, Gene Doe. Gene Doe number 2, 5 pounds. Starting the cascade of super chats. Look at Garland Farm. Garland Farms, you got to hang out more often. Start more of these cascades, dude. All right, so Natty Mulkey says, consider that fat and cholesterol from animal products are electrical insulators and protect against things like 5G and nanoparticles that permeate the blood-brain barrier. Yeah, well, it's very important. Fat is crucial. Fat's so important, man. Or woman. Or Natty Mulkey. Fat is super important. The immune system needs fat. If we're too low in fat for too long, the immune system gets tanked. The immune system gets shot. So as we're in an environment that is becoming increasingly more and more offensive to our physiology with pollutants, physical pollutants, chemical pollutants, electromagnetic pollutants, like the millimeter wave 5G weaponized cell system that's going on. Yeah, of course, fat is important. Fat is crucial. And getting too lean, this is one of the reasons why I think when we get too lean, our health goes to shit. Right? When you get so shredded lean, your immune system tanks. Your immune system, your hormone production is not good. All right, so this like fitness model level leanness, this like bodybuilder style physique, definitely is not healthy to maintain. So I think a little bit of fat, a little bit of cushion for the pushing is normal. And this is also probably why so many people after traumatic experience, whether that be physical trauma, you know, or an emotional trauma, they'll gain weight. Maybe this is the body sometimes trying to protect itself, right? Like when you come out of a starvation, and when you're really stressed out from starvation, you want to put weight on quickly. Same thing happens with people with traumatic situations in life. So I think these natural processes get hijacked, and we also end up using food as a drug. You know, like when we do sometimes need to nourish our body, and we get positive feedback when we do nourish our body, but also we can be gluttonous and take it way too far and overeat, right? Which will create a negative feedback loop. So very, very interesting concept. Thanks a lot for the super chat there, dude. Fat is protective. Fat is important. So getting too lean, not a good idea, and dropping the fat from your diet, terrible freaking idea. Terrible idea. Fat is crucial. Alley Cat 999. Thanks a lot, Alley. I thought you were taking off earlier. Still here. Zanuvar, fast question. Thanks for the $10 super chat too, man. Says, the Keto Carney Collective, is there a page for a bit more detail about everything that's in it? I work 40 to 80 hours a week. It's something I'm interested in, but I'd probably miss stuff. There you go. Yeah, Zanuvar, if you look in the description of the video, there will be a link to our website. You can check out the Keto and Carnivore Collective. It's on the coaching section of the website. There will be a link in the description down below. I'll put a link directly to the Keto and Carnivore Collective, which is our group coaching. We do it almost every month. We're going to do it next month. We're doing it this month. We took 2 months off before this because we had banged out so many and just needed a little bit of a break from talking so much. But we do 2 live interactive voice chats per week. One's a lesson with a Q&A at the end, and another one's just straight Q&A. We do it the same time. We usually do it at 11 a.m. on Monday and Thursday. But all those meetings are recorded, so you have access to all the things that we talk about, to all of the discussions. You have access to those for life, or as long as the internet is up. As long as we're allowed on the internet, you're going to have access to the resources that we share with you. So, yeah, you got full access to your coaches, Jessica and myself, and you have a community setting where you can support and help each other. So if you work 40 to 80 hours a week, that's a lot of work, man. 80-hour weeks must be really, really hard. But what's cool is you can tune in at any time. You can jump in at any time using your mobile device. We use a private Discord server to do it, and you can have access to all the stuff that we share throughout the Keto and Carnivore Collective for as long as you need. So that's what's up. Feel free to join. Michael Tulch, I don't know if you accidentally said 15. I don't know. The comment just says 15 cents, 10 Canadian dollars. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that. If you accidentally hit enter and you didn't type in a question or a statement, feel free to do it. Let's see. Everybody's throwing numbers in. Who think meat eater look more attractive? Press 2. Says Winter Lion. Everybody's pressing 2. All right. Michael Tolch. Thanks a lot, dude. All right. So, what's happening there in the chat? What's happening, everybody? What do you guys think about all this? Henge Fartivore, Tristan, did you watch the discussion of Bart K with that farting monster? So Bart K talked to Michelle Lowe. I saw about 5 minutes of it, and then somebody also gave me a breakdown of it and told me a little bit about what happened. It's... Sorry. TMZ. Good timing. It seems like it was basically the same as what happened here, right? She came on, said a bunch of really goofy stuff, didn't really make an argument that was coherent at all, and left thinking that she did great. I don't know. Maybe I'll give that one a watch. Somebody in the audience sent a super chat last week though, and they told me about Johnny Juicer. So I owe it to this person. We got to check out Johnny Juicer. I've got Johnny Juicer right here. It looks like the cascade of super chats is over, so we're going to have to wait till the next wave. The tide is going out. We'll wait for the tide to come back in. We'll bring them super chats in. Maybe Garland Farms will trigger another cascade. Make sure to check out Garland Farms' channel too. He's a real grass-fed rancher out there providing real food that is trans vegan friendly. You know, he does sell meat to trans vegans, and he is not a trans vegan phobe like most of the actual vegan community, who are constantly spewing hate speech against this trans vegan activist. So yeah, check him out. Johnny Juicer. Johnny Juicer. Shout out to Jay Dyer. He did a video with Deuce Juicer yesterday. Jay sent me a message. Make sure to check out Jay's. Yeah, okay knows about Deuce Juicer. Jay sent me a message. He was like, I'm trying to do I'm doing a vegan parody. What's a good name? So I just started throwing them out. And one of them I threw out there was Deuce Juicer. And it won. Deuce Juicer was used in Jay's video. He liked my Deuce Juicer. Deuce Juicer. I just like the idea of naming your kid Deuce. Like, it's such a funny name. Like, maybe somebody in, like, South Carolina or something might name their kid Deuce. Like, maybe one of my Louisiana cousins would name their kid Deuce. Deuce Juicer. All right, we've got Johnny Juicer here. Let's learn a little bit. Let's get woke. Johnny Juicer seems to be kind of on that. Looks like he's kind of part of the black conscious type community, which, oh man, you got a lot of people like Nature Boy who are spreading the good word of degeneracy, polyamory, and juicing to the so-called conscious community, right? These the black conscious community getting eaten up by these people.
To be in the presence of you. When I got into my raw foods, this was one of the men I was following, and there's so many people going back and forth from veganism, raw foods, to even carnivore, because I feel on social media the younger generation doesn't have the knowledge. If you could just shed some light and tell people just some tips that they should know when transitioning.
Well, look, tip number one, transition is bogus.
Exactly.
You know, you are or you're not. You
Right.
know, but if you want to do transition, you know, more power to you. Go ahead, but at least whenever you go forward, don't ever go backwards.
Right.
So any level that you have achieved, if you step back, then the cells, being new sponge, are going to absorb toxins at a deeper level. So it's a one-way street. Period. So.
Wow. All right. So he's full on, got that raw vegan, talking about the transition to raw veganism, right? Once people start talking about that, you know they're end stage vegan, right? You know that the vegan diet's not going to last much longer. Let's see, this guy's last video, let's see, March 29th. This guy's last video was put out 6 months ago. 6 months ago. I don't know if he's still, let's see, he's on Instagram. All right, Johnny Juicer on Instagram. We'll look him up on Instagram. We'll see if he's still around on Instagram, but he's not on YouTube anymore. If you look at him, he's at the point where he's started to lose that lean muscle mass. His face is getting sucked in. You see the eyes are getting closer together. Man, you know, he reminds me of of Bobby when Bobby was into the juicing and stuff. He's kind of looking like Bobby's perspective was back then when, you see the eyes start to sink in to the head. And Bobby, he doesn't have this look anymore. You know, thank God he's doing better. He got out of the vegan madness, but you can see the eyes, they start to sink in. The face starts to get a little sucked in. The skull starts to look like it pops up here a little bit because they're withering away. The fat behind the eyes is getting catabolized, right? Probably seeing brain shrinkage. And this guy's here saying, no, there's no such thing as transition because once you go, you can't turn back, right? It's like this all or nothing religious mentality, right? That you have to give everything at the altar of the animals. You got to give everything at the altar of the energy, the divine cosmic energy of the fruit, right? The sun power energy of the fruit or whatever this kook's going to talk about. Probably going to be something to do with the solar energy. That's what they always talk about. Right, but you could tell like that this guy, this older guy with the beard here, you could tell this dude's in it, right? This dude's been doing the juicing stuff for a long time. He's proper spaced out. He's a proper space cadet.
So when the mind is ready, the dumb animal, that little flesh is going to follow. You as a spirit being, you need to take command. You need to take charge and have that mind be your agent and keep that animal in its place. Because if that beast is running the show, you as a spirit, you are the dog on the leash. So unleash, take power, take back your life.
See, and they take the truth and they twist it and manipulate it in this demonic way, right? Where it's like, yeah, we want to have freedom from the passions. We don't want to be controlled by our fleshly body. right? So they take that truth, they bait you with it, and they tell you, okay, well, in order to transcend this and to become enlightened, you have to give up animal foods. You have to give up animal foods, which always results in the same thing, straight up starvation, right? These people join these cults. Like, this guy looks like he's a cult leader. I don't know. Eris Latham, I'm not sure what else he's doing, but it seems to me like this dude's probably doing like juice retreat, cult creation, right? Meditation circles, and maybe drinking a little plant medicine at the juicing retreats. This is what it always results in, right? This just like demonic fervor for I am enlightened, I'm almost there, I'm cleansing myself, the toxins are all leaving my body, the pain that I feel, the hunger I feel, it's all just the toxins leaving. I'm being cleansed. But what they're doing is they're cleansing themselves of their own life. Right? They're being led to basically destroy their body and destroy their own mind with this ideology. It's sad.
And do what you got to do. Defend that spirit space.
And what foods, what juices, what do you recommend people to do?
Defend that spirit space. So like that's what these things tell these people when they start connecting to them. When you take the mushroom and you connect with the mind of the gods, you realize that there is no God, except you are God. And that is not supposed to be self-contradictory, but it is. Right? They start to believe that these entities are giving them the truth, that this, they connect to the inner voice that whispers to them all the truths of the universe. And when they're deep in meditations, when they're deep in their plant medicine, when they're deep in the fasting, they connect to the light, to the spirit, right? And that's what they talk to, that's what they get into. They get obsessed with this spiritual veganism idea, this spiritual cleansing. We're cleansing ourselves. It's this new age monism that they end up believing in, this Gnostic ideology where we're all going to become God, we're all going to be like God, we're all going to live forever. And what is it? It's the same shit that the serpent sold us. Right? You're going to live as gods. You're going to be as God. You're going to live forever. You're not going to die.
What is the best thing for the human body?
I tell you, what's more critical is the other question, which is, what is the worst thing to do?
Right.
Always ask the doctor, what's bad for it, not what's good for it.
Right.
Because most of the time, the cure or the answer is an abstention. It's more about what you don't put in than what you actually put in. And whatever you put in, the thing is not to bury it in your system, not to let it stay there too long. So get it out as fast as you put it in.
See this like obsession with cleansing, this obsession with shitting? It's so weird. They get so obsessed with the shitting process and with the detoxification and getting out the toxins. Everything they eat, they're just thinking about shitting it out, right? I think it's going to do like a green juice enema right after every meal to make sure that it's just flushed out real good. Fucking nuts. Obsessed with cleansing. If we all just cleanse ourselves of the ego and all eat the mushrooms in silent darkness, we will all realize that you are God. And also Charles Manson was God. And also, I guess, Joseph Stalin was God as well. And my dog is God. And the cricket is God. And everything is everything and meaningless. And if we just will all eat the mushroom in fantastic quantities, our third eye will be open if we cleanse it in the liquid waters of the baptismal green juices with mushrooms.
But better yet, just don't put it in and then allow the body its space, its time, so that it itself can do what it needs to do, that it knows to do best, which is self-healing. The body will take care of all of that old mess that you have done before. So don't worry about it. Just let the body be. Stop attacking it. Stop trying to give it the challenge. Right. See if it can adapt to eating modern food. No, the experiment is over. It's been 300,000 years that we discovered the use of fire, and ever since then you've been experimenting, trying to figure out how to adapt to eating cooked food.
that they love to have these alternative theologies, like, oh, we're just trying to adapt to the cooked food, right? We're not used to the cooked food. And I love how people, we have the Terrence McKenna-ites in the chat. Terrence McKenna is so smart. Terrence McKenna is incredibly smart, to be fair. I bet you can't quote his smart stuff. His smart stuff. Dude, yeah, I used to listen to Terrence McKenna back when I was in high school and I was duped by all this stupid-ass transhumanist, psychedelic revolution, gay nonsense, right? If you're still stuck on this Terrence McKenna, eat mushrooms and we're all going to get in the ether and speak on behalf of the machine elves if we just sterilize ourselves. If you think this is true, then you're duped. Right? So if you're offended that I'm making fun of Terrence McKenna and the degenerate psychedelic movement that's all been run by intelligence agencies the whole time, that always promotes the same Gnostic, Luciferian, transhumanist, globalist idea of melding with machines and becoming eternal forever, yeah, that's that you're duped. You're duped, all right? So if you're over here and you're offended, that's fine. You can still listen. You don't have to tell me every time you're offended. You don't have to tell me every time you're offended. I get it. You think you're a god. You think you're super cool. You figured it all out. That's cool. But you don't have to you don't have to comment every time your butt hurt when I point out the fact that you're still human, that you can't create a speck of dust, that you can't justify your own worldview.
Experiment is done. The jury is in. We cannot adapt to eating cooked food, period, even plant-based. So forget plant-based and all of those other levels. Let's take it back to the sun. The sun is the master chef. We're just little artists down here putting the sun's work together so that it can be associated with what is today accepted as modern cuisine arts.
That's beautiful. That was beautifully put. I love that.
Yes, sir.
And one more thing. Why do you feel it's beneficial for liquids?
Oh, well, you know, the body itself, just like the planet Earth, 70% liquid, 70% moisture. So our intake should reflect that. So this is what I'm about to do here. This all big pineapple, this all chopped up. I'm not even going to try.
Pineapple is kind of nice, but
right.
I'm going to let modern technology
juice it all.
I'm going to juice it, and I'm going to be drinking a good 2 quarts of pineapple juice.
Wow. 2 quarts of high vibration pineapple juice. Yo, I put the pineapple juice in the juicer to give me the experience of being a god, transcendent, flying through the ether, of the cosmic manifestations of the divine mind that lives inside of the tip of my penis. I'm a Gnostic who believes everything is God. God is just eating God everywhere. God on God on God. We all gonna be gods if we just eat the juices. Xanavar, what's up, dude? Or dudette. $20. Thanks for the super chat. Says, any pointers on those with rosacea? Or point to a vid you did previously where you mentioned it. I know it's more autoimmune that presents on the skin. I eat organs happily, sometimes raw, but only if grass-fed, grass-finished. Suggestions. All right, rosacea. Well, for most autoimmune conditions, an elimination diet, such as a carnivorous approach, can be really, really useful. There could be foods that you're eating that are exacerbating the situation. You could be eating foods that you're allergic to. You could be overaccumulating things like oxalates in the body. So what you can do is maybe go for a more carnivorous approach, right? Enjoy lots of animal foods. When you say you eat organs happily, it's not like you have to eat organs every day. I mean, consider like there's one liver on an animal, a couple kidneys, right? The organs, there's one heart in an animal, one brain, right? We should be eating actually way more muscle meat than we're eating organs. We don't need to eat liver every day, but having some organs every once in a while is a good idea. Get out in the sunshine. That's one thing that I would say could be a really big game changer is more natural sunlight, right? So exposing yourself to natural light during the day, getting sunshine on your body as often as possible, super good, right? Looking into red light therapy as well. Red light therapy, when you expose yourself to red and near infrared light, on the skin, it can help regenerate collagen, can help the immune system. So check out some of my videos on red light therapy. That could be a good route to go. So I hope you figure it out there, dude. Okay, let's see. All right, we got a bunch of triggered people in the chat. If you're triggered, just take off. You don't have to tell me everything that triggers you. It's okay. You don't have to tell me everything that triggers you. I understand. You want to eat the mushrooms and be a Gnostic and follow the Freemasonic philosophy of evolution that tells you you are the highest evolved being on the planet that just needs to consume the mushroom and go to Burning Man orgies with Aubrey Marcus and the On It crew and listen to Joe Rogan tell you that Richard Dawkins is the greatest thinking mind to ever be incarnated on Mother Earth. All right, Natty Mulkey, another $10. Thanks a lot, man. Says, the body vegans need to be working on is their emotional body so they stop trauma bonding via guilt and shame programming in order to maintain their victim martyr complex. Well said. Well said. All right, so Xanavar, who's asked the question about rosacea, has already been on carnivore for a month. Right on, dude. I figured you probably were already on to that, so yeah, keep it up. Get in the sun. Maybe try and keep maybe keep dairy out for a little bit, see if that affects it. See what happens. All right. So again, if you're offended, if you don't like it, leave, right? Just leave. You don't need to tell me everything you don't like in the chat, guys. You don't need to leave your gay little I don't like that comments every time you get triggered, okay? Enjoy the ride. You're watching the show. If you want to direct the show, send me some super chats and tell me what you want me to talk about, right? But don't just sit and bitch and complain in the chat.
For a few minutes, and that's the way it is, because then the body doesn't have to work.
Right.
Give the body a break.
Yeah, the digestive system's the most overused in the human body, right?
Oh, it's the work that the digestive system has to do is more intense than actually even doing construction work.
Wow.
It's a total physical demand on the body, because especially if you're eating foods that are going to challenge the system that the body was not designed to process. Just because you can boil a potato and soften it and pump it up with water, it is not food. The body is going to tell you that, because it's not going to break down. It's not going to become a simple carbohydrate. It won't be sugar, and you can't use it to make energy. Whatever energy you can use, produce from it, then it's going to go into the whole processing of it. So it's like empty calories.
Exactly. And one more thing, actually, this is the last thing, because I got a lot of people on my Insta story saying they heard you say how the Vitamix is more efficient than a juicer, up to 30 seconds. Okay. Want to just explain that briefly?
He's saying it's not natural to boil a potato or to cook foods or to cook meat, but he's going to use a juicer and a blender to process his pineapple and make it more digestible for him. So it's kind of self-contradictory right there. All right, so Muji Senior over here, Sri Amajalaya, Jamaica. I think we're about done with this guy. We got Johnny Juicer. Let's check out Johnny Juicer on Instagram. Let's see if he's still around. Uh-oh, 5 days ago. All right, 5 days ago, and he's reaching end stage. He's reaching end stage veganism. Let's see how long this muscle lasts. Look at the vegan tattoo, too. Oh, shit, man. He's got the vegan tattoo. Luckily, he can change that. You could change that to something else or get that just blacked out. But he's still around. 5 days ago, he was coming to help. Noah and I smashed some hour in season Friday fruit haul. He's about to smash some fruits with his dog? What the hell? Noah the vegan is his dog. Johnny Morelli is his name. Man, this he's getting there. He's got the vibe though. Look at the poncho, cut off poncho jacket. Hella spiritual, dog. Look at that dog. Hope that dog's vegan. Hella spiritual. Noah the vegan dog. Oh my goodness. Plant-based Yorkie adoptee. Born and raised in Chicago, an actor. Okay, so that makes sense. This guy wants to be an actor. And he's even got his dog's going to be an actor. Look, even his dog looks malnourished. Even this dude's dog is a soy boy. This dude's dog is full-on soyified. Look at his dog juicing. Yep, on that morning medical medium celery juice drill. Who else does the morning celery juice? Have a great weekend. Tongue, heart, paws. Hee hee hee. Dude, this dog is killing it on Instagram. 47,000 followers on Instagram. Damn, dog. Look at them vegan arms on that dog. Damn. Even this dude's dog is a soy boy. All right. Just look at he's like right up there at the precipice of like he's about to get super malnourished. I wonder how long he's been doing this. All right, so to the person who recommended check, I think you might be in here. I don't know if it's Hip Hopopotamus. Someone said to check out this guy, Johnny Juicer. You requested this in a super chat the other day. We're finally getting to it. If you guys got anyone else you think we should check out here, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in a super chat if you feel so inclined. But we got Johnny Juicer and his doggy. Johnny Juicer and his vegan doggy. Juicing to save the planet. I don't know. This whole like feeding obligate carnivores a vegan diet is kind of sad. Right? And not just dogs, but hey, we're obligate carnivores too. We need animal foods. We need animal foods in order to grow a healthy central nervous system, in order to develop our immune system. Those are the easiest digested foods there are. And you remove those animal foods, you're gonna suffer. Remove the animal foods, and we do pay the price. All right, guys, we got let's see, throw a little plug here. Got the Carnivore Cookbook. How to prepare nutrient-dense animal foods. The Carnivore Cookbook for people who really love animals. We show you how to create nutrient-dense meals based all on animal foods. There's a whole section teaching you how to use the organs. Showing you how to eat nose to tail. Speaking of nose to tail, we had a couple times this week we've had tongue. And every time I eat tongue, I think it's better and better. Anybody out there had lengua? Tongue? It's so freaking good. I can't tell you how much I like tongue. I like it so. It's so good. All right, we got these vegan guys here.
Hello.
The vegan guys.
Hello. Hello there, I'm Paul.
I'm Jason.
And together we are those vegan guys. Very sorry for the slight delay there. We were just waiting for... Well, it's a bit high, that, isn't it? It's been a bit...
See if I can adjust it slightly.
A bit lower.
Right, I'm going to do this while
He's going to do that. I'll look here and talk to you all. So, hello, Mick, Kelly, Serenity, Hedge Rider, Vivid Dreams, Nicola. Hi. Hi, everybody.
This is what vegan gets you guys. This is what veganism has to offer you. All right, do you want to be like this? Let's go vegan. Let's all go vegan to save the earth. You know, someone sent me these guys before. Those vegan guys. If we can just all go to the Extinction Rebellion marches, we can save the earth. If we can all just go vegan, we can save the planet. And there are actually a lot of people pushing back against this. If you go to the top posts of Extinction Rebellion, it's all posts that are praising these people, kicking these guys out of the subways, the metro, or whatever you call it over there in London. It's almost all posts praising these people kicking these dudes out. Like we watched this the other day. Watching it on the big screen. Goal! Goal! Funny, right? People are starting to step up. It's kind of interesting. All right, Richard Kerr, what's up, man? He says, hey, mate, do you have thoughts on Seven Bomar the Breatharian? Sevam Bomar. Let me look him up. I don't know who that is. But, I mean, breatharians are full of shit. Right? Hey, look. Primal Edge Health is live. Let's check that out. Sevam Bomar. That name sounds so familiar. Sevan Bomar. Inner Standing? Is this him? Breatharianism. Inner Standing. Oh, see more of this. Look, use this Shipibo artwork. If you would just consume enough mushrooms to understand that there are too many people on the planet, and if we all go vegan, we can stop breeding altogether and all go to the orgy at Burning Man.
All right, I'm just busting with joy over here. I wanted to also remind everyone here that we oftentimes engage in activities that don't require us to talk. Like we could be washing dishes, we could, be doing something
so deep.
Writing. There's many of us have crafts. We do artisan work with our hands. Yeah. This is also a perfect time for breathing, and that sometimes goes overlooked. We sometimes think that the mind should be completely disengaged, because in fact, when you're doing your artisan work, your mind is disengaged. So you win that there, and it's a perfect time to go into the meditation, but also for maximizing the breath. Of course, if you're just sitting still and you're doing nothing, you're using none of your mobile skills, then you have the greater benefit. But I've always seen breath.
Damn, did you guys catch that? While you're like eating or doing dishes or jerking off to VR porn or degenerating your mind and soul by watching Billie Eilish videos, you can also be breathing. You can also breathe. That's amazing. I want to thank the viewer for that super chat, getting me woke to the breathing question here. Damn, we can be breathing always. Let's fast forward it. Listen to what Elitom El Ayman says.
So
Absolutely.
Exercise, the key word is EX on the beginning of it. That's a word within itself. Ex-mayor, to exit something. But the main thing is the exorcism. When you exercise your body, you are breaking up blockages. In ancient times, that's what they call a demon or an entity that's plaguing you. See,
when you exercising, you playing with the demons. That's right. Wow. All right. I don't know about you, but I'm getting woke.
You're really cherishing the moment. You forget about eating. You forget about all these different things, because you get some level of power and energy from that, and we charge each other. And the more that we can continuously build those fields, and we can also become internally aware of our gift into that field, like being responsible basically for the energy that we're bringing into the field, the more we can all have this feast, which is really more of like, for the correct word, almost like an orgasmic connection that we would all go into a.
They love to bring in the orgasmic connection, right? Like these fruitarian, breatharian cultists, they love to start bringing in the like sexual NLP, right? They love it. They love it. I mean, these people have found a way to make and monetize full-on cults. Full-on cults. All right. We got some other breatharians out there, I'm sure. There was a breatharian couple that came through Ecuador at one time. And you would see the guy in town every once in a while eating hot dogs and drinking beer. But then they said that they tried to claim that the woman had a breatharian pregnancy. They said that she had a breatharian pregnancy, and her kid she was pregnant with her kid, and she was breatharian the whole time. This is how insane these people are. This is what they'll actually promote. Right? Starving yourself during pregnancy. Fucking nuts. Yeah, I'm done with 7. I'm done with that. What else is going on? Come over here to the chat. All right, might start wrapping it up. Got a bunch of people still watching. Over 300 bigots in the chat right now. They don't believe the breatharians either. What do you guys think? You think these breatharians live on nothing? They don't even drink water? All they need is breath. They live off of the prana. They live off of the cosmic life force. It's all one. It's all one. We are all one. They tell you. I don't know about that, breatharians. Urinarians and breatharians. Poopinarians. Breatharians. Dusty says they survive off smugness. Yeah. Alright. So what's cracking, guys? What's going on in the chat? What else you guys want to talk about? We could maybe start one more cascade of super chats. I think we can get one more round in. A little water here. It stopped raining. The roof stopped leaking. A little update on the house, guess. I guess we'll do a little update on the house situation. We're looking at maybe a few more weeks, maybe 3 to 4 weeks, and we'll finally be in our new house. So that'll be pretty cool. We're super excited for that. To not have a leaky roof and not be in this house that we're renting. That's like the kids made a mess. This whole house is a mess right now. So we're excited to get out of here. We don't own this house. We're going to be in the house that we own pretty soon. But I might have to, and I realized this the other day, in my new office. So I'm finally going to have my own office, which will be great. I'm going to do these live streams. Right now, the office is a shared space, and we don't have that much privacy for the office situation. But I'm excited to have my own office. But I might have to do something to soundproof it. I got polished concrete on the floor, and then a wood roof, but the roof is real high. And then there are adobe walls, but it echoes a lot. And I think once the furniture's in and stuff, and maybe some bookshelves, hopefully that'll dampen it. I don't want to have to cover the whole wall with wood to get proper sound, because it's got quite the echo now. I might have to do a GoFundMe to get my office properly set up. Hip Hopopotamus, what's up? Thanks for the $5. Says, how important is it to eat grass-finished meat to heal? What do you think of dry fasting for healing? All right. On paper and just ideologically, I'm really attached to the grass-fed, grass-finished, right? I think it's very, very important to support regenerative agriculture, to not support big ag, to not support this big pharma bullshit, right? So I'm not a big fan of the feedlot crap quality meat, but what I am a huge fan of is people getting healthy, and I cannot deny that plenty of people eat meat from the supermarket that is not grass-finished and get their health back. Does that mean that nobody should focus on grass-fed beef? Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, look, if you can afford it, get grass-fed. All right, if you can afford it, and most people can, if you learn how to source good foods, which we actually show you in the Carnivore Cookbook, which there will be a link in the description. There's a section where we show you how to source affordable grass-fed beef. If you check out, there's resources like eatwild.com. That's a really good one, where you can find local producers of meat. If you're in Texas, you can check out Garland Farms. Right? Depending on what area you're in, you can find really good quality meat locally. But if you can't, if all you've got is supermarket beef and that's all you can afford, and you got no other option, what am I going to tell you? Go back to eating corn and wheat and soy? Hell no. Get your health back, right? Focus on the best quality food you can afford. If you can't afford the highest quality beef, get what you can afford. Right? Plenty of people get their health back. Now, can there be contamination from pesticides, right? From low quality feed? Yes, there can. But does that mean that everything that's not grass-fed, grass-finished is terrible quality? No, it doesn't. You might be able to find some good affordable stuff. See what works for you. Right? I'm all about what actually works for you and your situation, not about some ideal. Right? I'm not trying to freak everybody out. Oh, if you don't eat grass-fed, grass-finished beef, you're going to die. Right? There's some people who got to feed families, and that's what they can afford. So yeah, we got to be kind of pragmatic with this stuff as well sometimes. Zanuvar says, oh, let me come back up. So yeah, thanks, Hip Hopopotamus. Xanavar says, would you be willing to share about your homestead a bit? What kind of routines or things you do? So curious about how you got started and how you do it. All right, so where we live right now, we've just got chickens, we got dogs. Where we live right now, we have not curated our garden very much at all last year. We just let it overgrow. It's a nice little spot, but we just have chickens here, right? So, I mean, which are very, very low maintenance. Chickens are very easy to keep. We've got a cow, we've got a pregnant heifer, and we've got a vacuna, a calf, up at our property where we don't live yet. All right, so we're planning on getting more sheep, planning on getting more cattle, and I want to have a bunch of sheep. We'll see how this goes. It would be interesting to get some llamas and alpacas as well, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. It's a little warmer here. I think they have the llamas and the alpacas definitely prefer it a lot warmer. I could maybe swing some llamas. I freaking love llamas. I love alpacas. I wish I had 100,000 hectares and I could have herds of them, but yeah. But I don't have money. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the homestead. Small, humble homestead, expanding. Really trying to get a bunch of animals so that we can live exclusively off of our own land. That would be great. Self-Wave, have you checked out vegan John St. Julian? Yeah, John St. Julian, Baba Shri Slama Yama Ding Dong Wenka. That guy commented on one of my videos before with this super lame, new agey gobbledygook about you're not spiritual enough, I'm so spiritual, everything is one, you know, this classic monist, animist bullshit. The guy promotes Freemasonic, Luciferian philosophy that I completely disagree with, and he also promotes veganism, vegetarianism, and lives with Maasai, yet promotes a vegan vegetarian diet. The guy is full-on end-stage veganism wackadoodle. Mo sends $2. Thanks, Mo. Appreciate that. Frankish Queaking sends New Zealand $10. I hope you're doing well out there in New Zealand, protecting your homes and your homesteads from them vegan kooks. New Zealand, seems like New Zealand's kind of on board with a lot of this, decreasing your herd sizes and decreasing the amounts of animals they have. I hope that it doesn't go in that direction much. I hope you guys keep pushing back. So, yeah, thanks a lot, Frankish Queaking. Let's see. ZNA, look at this nice little cascade of super chats here. You guys are awesome. ZNA Productions, dry fasting. You mean the natural human diet? Breatharian, obligate carnivore. All right, obligate breathivore. There you go. Dry fasting. Yes. Oh, wait. Did I skip a super chat? There it is. Hip Hopopotamus, I didn't answer your thing about dry fasting for healing. Yes, fasting can be powerful. A dry fast is the most intense fast. Should you do it for physical healing only? I think that I think we should be doing fasting in a spiritual setting, right? So I believe in Eastern Orthodoxy, right? And we're Christians in the Eastern Orthodox Christianity. We believe that fasting is a spiritual practice that can be very, very powerful. Shouldn't be done for vanity, right? And it can be dangerous as well, right? So a lot of people get into fasting and they use it for just basically pre-lest, to maintain these states of thinking they're enlightened in their vegan diets and whatnot. So that can be dangerous. So yeah, ZNA Production, thanks for the $20, dude. Dry fasting, you mean the natural human diet? Yeah, exactly. We should all be dry fasting every once in a while. I'm dry fasting right now. I'm not drinking any water. I'm not eating any food at this moment. So I'm dry fasting. I'll break my fast in a little bit with some water. Blubbersphere, what's up, dudes? Send in, what are A's? That's Australia, because I think somebody said mate on the last stream after they sent this currency. But thank you so much for the donation. Says, just wanted to show some support. How about to hook up some high vibration beef? Dude, awesome. Well, I'll use that super chat to hook up some more high vibration streams in the future. We're looking to upgrade the tech situation, get the office going, maybe get some lighting so I can do a proper stream at night. It's going to be nice. It's going to be good. It's going to be tremendous. Judas Romo says chicken hearts versus cow's hearts. Good question. Thanks for $10. Cow's hearts, dude, all the way. Ruminant animals over chickens all the way, because most chickens are fed corn, soy, low-quality feed. But if those chickens are just eating bugs, if those chickens are free-ranging, if they're eating good quality organic food, then yeah, it can be great. But I still prefer cow's hearts and cow's organs. Xanavar, thoughts or plan to aim for a polyculture setup like white oak pastures? Will Harris talks about the health boost to his animals with polyculture herds. Yeah, we have I talked to Will, by the way. I'm gonna have I'll publish Will's conversation really soon. Shot that the last the hiatus from the live streams. So yeah, Will from White Oak Pastures, cool dude. Yeah, we're interested in just maximizing the production as well as the maximizing production and regeneration is what we're interested in. So we're not just going to do animals. Like we're also going to grow. We'll have some maybe some sugar cane, which can be useful for feed as well for the animals during the dry season. We were probably going to grow some tubers. We'll grow some yucca. We've got fruit already up there, fruit trees, loads of berry bushes all over. I don't like eating berries. The kids love them though. And we've got some bananas. I'll plant more bananas all around. Yeah, we're looking at doing all sorts of stuff up there. Thank you for the suggestion, and I'm sure you'll be excited to see the talk with Will. I'll be throwing that one up really soon. Travis says carrots are the root of all evil. People are arguing over the theological implications of carrots. What's up, everyone? So yeah, thanks for all the super chats. Let's see. All right, do you think, Hip Hoppopotamus says, do you think evil elite are born evil or choose it? I think we all choose evil, right? We all choose evil. We live in a fallen world, right? So the world is constantly beckoning us to go down these degenerate pathways. And when you look at the history of humanity, I think it's abundantly clear that we are being led into degeneracy, into genocides, into evil act consistently, but we have choice, right? Like I remember at times, I mean, we all get tempted, right? Like we all get tempted sometimes to steal, to be dishonest, to be cruel, and so I don't think it's not like we're born bad. We believe that we're made in the image of God. Evil is not a created thing. Like man is not created evil. Man is created good, right? So then we get tempted into, we get whispered to spiritually and driven by our own desires, by the passions, and sometimes we lose control and fall into degeneracy. So we're not born evil, we're born good, made in the image and likeness of God. And evil is the movement of the will away from God, right? Evil does not exist. It's not a created thing. There you go. Okay, it says evil has no ontological status. That's a good way of saying it. And also evil, okay, it says evil is not choosing good. We all do that. Yeah, no, see, we all, like, there's no, like, people that are inherently evil. There's just people that choose evil. People that choose wickedness. People that choose nonsense. People that choose degeneracy. So it's up to us. What about psychopaths? Hip Hoppopotamus says. You have to be broken into psychopathy, right? It's like the world is, in many ways, like culture is this machine for churning out psychopathy. When you look at mass media and pop culture, it is a machine for turning out psychopathic, narcissistic degeneracy. Right? So it's like there comes a point where, through trauma and through repeating behaviors that we've been exposed to around us, we get trained into psychopathy. So people think that it's like a genetic thing. Yeah, I mean, we do inherit certain proclivities from our parents. Right? The sins of the father. Right? We do inherit these things. We inherit certain weaknesses. When we're surrounded by certain weaknesses and it gets normalized, then we'll be more likely to manifest those and to fall into them. That doesn't mean that we're born bad, that it's just all genetic, that psychopathy is full-on genetic, and that evil is genetic. But also, I mean, we're looking at scientific explanations for things that are not physical. All right, psychopathy, in the scientific worldview, it doesn't even really exist. And so psychopathy, this is a way for, in the scientific worldview, that doesn't acknowledge that there is good, right, wrong, bad, evil. It's a way of labeling something as aberrant, as evil, as bad. Right? They want it both ways. They want to act like there is good and evil. And they want everybody to do good, but they don't want to admit that there is good and evil, and that we don't decide what is good and evil. Let's see. We're about 2 hours now. Oh, look, we're under 300. Where are those 330 people going? We're down to 270 now. What's up, everyone? But we're still getting the super chats, so we got to stay. We're getting cascades of super chats. Thank you guys for supporting. I really want to tell you how much we appreciate the support here. The YouTube algorithmic manipulation has been kind of crazy lately. We know that a lot of people don't get notified. If you want to be notified, if you want to know when we're doing these live streams, make sure to follow me on Instagram or on Twitter. I'll tweet these out. I Insta these out. And if you want to see the intro video in just one video, it's also on Instagram right now. And maybe I'll upload it as a single upload because I really like that one. Spent quite a bit of time making that edit, and I like how it came out. Xanavar for $10. Thanks a lot, dude. Says, next time you have Bobby Gill on or someone similar, could you talk about what kind of financial breakdown it is to run a regenerative farm versus conventional, the inputs versus the outputs on a general scale? You know what? That's a really, really good question. That's something that I do try and hit on, but I don't want to be rude and ask somebody directly about their financials, right? So I'll have to think about a way to frame that question for future interviews. It'd be interesting. But yeah, I'm also interested to know, what people's costs are for running some of these really big operations. But White Oak Pastures, I mean, they own like a whole town around them. Like this has been in his family for a long time, and they want to actually employ much of the town around them. So they're a very, very, very large scale family farm. So yeah, thanks a lot. Let's see, got any more super chats out there? Might start wrapping up. I think my kids just showed up. They just drove up the driveway, and I might start wrapping this up. Unless you guys want to listen to the musings of the great Terence McKenna. Xanavar, $5 says, thoughts that if regenerative ag becomes the norm to win it over and it becomes a standard, can it ever become as cheap as conventional beef is now? It's going to take a lot of economic work for it to get to that point, right? Conventional beef is cheap now because it's subsidized through governments who subsidize these big ag corporations, which are basically an extension of the military-industrial complex, right? Bayer, Monsanto, Cargill. These are imperial tools that get used to spread the Fortune 100 ideology, the big bank ideology all over the world, and spread globalism. So if we see a major shift towards local food production, and if more people get involved in this, and if more people become economically invested and start taking charge and joining this type of movement to produce food, right, and rebuilding and restructuring the rural areas, then absolutely it can be as affordable as conventional beef. But it's going to take time, it's going to take input, and for now, quality foods are going to be more expensive, right? The cheapest shit foods that are subsidized globally are these plant-based, Klaus, these plant-based kibble replacement foods. So we've got to take control, and we've got to take charge, and a lot of us need to get more involved in the production of these foods, and hopefully we can go in that direction. Hopefully we can. But there's no guarantees. In Sweden right now, they're talking about banning meat. They're talking about rationing meat, and you get like one piece a year. The World Economic Forum has been talking about rationing meat, right? About a circular economy where all the resources are owned by the big mega corporations, and you rent your iPhone from them. We watched that Ida Auken clip, the last video, right? So we've got a long road ahead of us, and we really have to push our energy into the creation of localized food production economy. And if that happens, it'll be great. Judas says, would you feed your chickens mealworms? Yeah, of course. Of course I would. That's another thing I think is an interesting one to look into for homesteaders. I've got a friend who does black soldier fly production. What's up, kids? Hi. What's up, Ari? Hi. Hi, Ryder. What are you doing? I said, what are you doing? Come here. Come show me. Okay. Black soldier flies are a really good protein source, and if you feed them correctly, they can have a great fatty acid profile, and that's something that you can feed to chickens and produce not like we should eat black soldier flies. I'm not too into that, but yeah. So would I feed my chickens mealworms? Absolutely. What's up, ribeye? You guys want a ribeye update? Oh, he's so big. Ribeye was just the size of his head a few months ago. He's huge now. All right. I had this funny. I was listening. What's up?
Leaking.
Come here. Where's it leaking?
In the bathroom.
On the bed?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How'd you get that little scar right there?
Oh, maybe I just saw on top of
Ari didn't scratch you?
No.
How was your art class?
Good.
You see yourself?
Yeah.
You see me?
Yeah.
Who's more handsome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people watching me. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I was just blabbering to them. You think that's funny?
Yeah.
Give me a high five. Almost just elbowed my face. All right. Yeah, I had this funny. What breed is he? Xanavar. That's a ribeye. He's a pit bull. He's like a Staffordshire Terrier. He's a big Staffordshire Terrier. He's a good dog. Something about this clip with this music, it just makes me laugh. What's up, girl? Want to come say hi?
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
You just wanted to see yourself on there?
No.
No? Did you know that if you eat the mushroom, you will be shown all of the secrets of the self-transforming machine elves?
I can't hear you.
How was art class?
Good.
Yeah.
We made this airplane thing with the bottle cap on it, and the pom-pom, and you push it down, and then the pom-pom, then you let it go, and the pom-pom flies.
Wow.
Mhm.
Sounded cool.
Mhm. Well, that's cool.
All right. Watch out for that. Step in water.
I said nothing to anyone, but I formed the resolve not to spend that sleepless night as I had spent the others, wandering the fields like the fox spirit or meditating at the Choro. Rather, I would sit here where the lake emptied and the Agara-Paraná resumed its languid course, here at the boat landing, 70 feet down a steep mud bank from the river house. I would sit through the night and watch. And so, all night long, I sat reviewing the things that had passed, seeming to divide my consciousness and send it both backward through my family tree and forward into the future. I seemed to see all the years ahead. I saw some technique emerging from this contact, which I now think is the technique for growing Stropharia cubensis. Our careers pursued across space and time, and finally vindication as the world realized the truth of the transdimensional nature of the Stropharia vision and the true nearness of the worlds that they had thrown open. For it had become my belief that the contact with an intelligent and utterly alien species was beginning for humanity. It seemed that out of the long night of cosmic time, the novelty of novelties, the moment of contact between minds on utterly different planes was beginning. We were among the first to achieve contact with this other species. It was the real thing. We had come to the equatorial jungle to explore the dimensions glimpsed in tryptamine ecstasy, and there in the darkness of the heart of the Amazon, we had been found and touched by this bizarre and ancient life form that was now awakening to the global potential of a symbiotic relationship with technical humanity. All night long, strange vistas and insights poured through me. I saw gigantic machineries and worlds of vegetable and mechanical forms on scales inconceivably vast. Time agatized and glittering, seemed to pour by me like living superfluids inhabiting dream regions of terrible pressure and super cold. And I saw the plan, the mighty plan at last. It was an ecstasy, an ecstasis that lasted hours and placed the seal of completion on all of my previous life. At the end, I felt reborn, but as what? I knew not.
The mushroom is
I saw the magnificent plan. The plan was to infuse me with an inflated sense of self-importance, believing that I am the Messiah sent to change the world through the mushroom and breaking through the cosmic membrane into an eternal orgasm of Burning Man orgy with the mushroom and Joe Rogan.
All right. This has been like half Terrence McKenna. this whole stream. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Somebody said earlier, Terrence McKenna is really smart. You couldn't even quote his smart stuff. there was some really smart Terrence McKenna channeling some really, really smart entities there that tell him that he's so awesome. That he's so awesome. Alright, guys. We gotta start wrapping this up. It's been over 2 hours. Tonight, I'm gonna be on Jay Dyer's channel. We're gonna be talking about Osho and cults. And then I think we're gonna do I want to try to get Jay to do a Terrence stream because I know he just read a few Terrence McKenna books, or at least maybe 2 Terrence McKenna books. And I'd like to do a Terrence stream with Jay, and we can talk about Gnosticism, we can talk about the psychedelic movement, monism, and all this stuff. And you know, Jay, who knows a lot about orthodoxy and theology. It's always interesting talking to him about some of this stuff. So, yep, I'll be on Jay Dyer's channel tonight. What is today? Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow, got the Boiler Room. Tomorrow I'll be on the Boiler Room tomorrow night. And then I'll probably do another stream on Saturday or Sunday. What do you guys think? Saturday or Sunday for the next stream? So unless we got more super chats, unless you start another cascade of those super chats, I think I'm going to take off. So yeah, you guys, you're way more than what you eat. Way freaking more than what you eat. And all this toxic pop culture stuff, telling us to sterilize ourselves, telling us to zonk ourselves out on drugs and sex, telling us that we need to all seek fame on the internet and all be mentally ill YouTube fame whores. All this stuff is just leading to the degradation of ourselves, our families, and our abilities to actually formulate a coherent worldview and live a useful, good life. So, glad you all can make it. Melody Reed said $2.99 says, "Yeah, my first live caught you." So thank you so much for the $2.99 donation. Thanks to everybody for all the generous super chats. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Reflections.
Trying to raise the sense of urgency around climate change.
What ups, Reflections? I am not a bigot. I am ready to save the planet by doing exactly what the big banks tell the TV screens to tell us to do. I feel so empowered on my #vegan journey. Join us as we chant empty slogans for #climate action written by PR firms. We need to save the earth and demand a global totalitarian technocratic government run by big finance and the Fortune 100. Our house is on fire and we need the nice grown-up government to take everyone's land and resources and ration us delicious, sustainable, nutrient-fortified vegan kibble. This is an emergency. Mommy Earth is crying so sad because she wants the mean grown-ups to give poor little 16-year-old human shield Greta her future back.
Do you have anything to add to these debates about just in particular the idea that it's kind of too expensive to deal with climate change?
I mean, it is. The money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean.
Jeffrey Epstein committed suicides and was working alone. Veganism is desirable and fun and make me smile big happy on my insides. I do not hate children. I am not a science denier. I do like science. To fix the hashtag climate crisis, we need to sterilize ourselves, starve ourselves, eat babies and grandma, and move to a social engineered hashtag smart city to save the earth. There is no time to examine the inconsistencies in our claims or actions, or the billions of dollars being leveraged to brainwash us into thinking we want this. We want hashtag climate action now and a hashtag plant-based food system of sustainable fortified kibble. We are not being used. We are truly empowered and full of energy that we are using constructively. We are so empowered and not deceived.
We all share the same values, so we just need to align those values with our actions and join forces. We all want the same thing. We want to see an Earth in the next 50 years.
The money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean,